The day my husband died, I was in the morning hall, cracking melon seeds and counting banknotes, but the whole of Jincheng said I was the most pitiful woman in the world. Only I knew that this husband was the source of a lifetime's worth of effortless wealth. His heart belonged to my older sister. Even on his deathbed, he begged me to bury him next to her grave. He even told me not to marry him in the next life. Why wouldn't I? My parents-in-law were the Princess Royal and the Duke. They treated me like their own daughter. Whenever fresh novelties came from the palace, my mother-in-law let me pick first. The son I bore was a natural prodigy. A top scholar in both literature and martial arts, a victorious general on the field, he secured the Duke's title as an eternal hereditary rank. When he grew up, he even wanted to find a companion for my later years. That scumbag's heart was set on his white moonlight, so the inner court was so clean there wasn't even a concubine. I just had to lie back and enjoy my fortune. There wasn't a single thing to worry about. Who wouldn't fight for this kind of luck? So, after being reborn, when I heard the Princess Royal smilingly ask if I was betrothed, I shyly replied on the spot. Why trap someone else when I can trap myself? I felt no apology toward Lu Junran. Only a longing for the happy days after marriage. The Princess Royal happily squeezed my hand. My son has always been indifferent. But lately he has been refusing food and drink. He mentioned the legitimate daughter of the Xia family, and begged me to act as a matchmaker for him. In all these years, this is the first time. He has told me he's taken a fancy to a girl. He certainly has good taste. You have a full forehead, my girl. The look of someone who brings fortune and prosperity to her husband. I lowered my head quickly, suppressing the secret joy in my heart. This really wasn't my fault. It was Lu Junran's own slip of the tongue. My sister, Xia Wanyu, was born to a concubine. And as for the legitimate mistress of the Xia family, from beginning to end, there was only me. The Princess Royal took off a gold bracelet worth 10,000 pieces, using her handkerchief to help me put it on. She specially used the Lu family's grand carriage to take me home. She warmly gripped my palm. I am well acquainted with your mother. I happen to be free today to drop by and chat. And incidentally discuss this engagement. Don't you worry. Whatever demands your family may have, I will grant them all. My eyes were watery. But I still couldn't hide the joy in my voice as I thanked her. Deep down, I knew the Princess Royal was notoriously difficult to please. In my previous life, before I was married to Lu Junran, I was scared to death of her. It was only after I married in that I realized this mother-in-law was amazing. She didn't like waking up early, so I never had to pay morning respects. She was picky about her food, so she had her own private kitchen in the inner court, never eating at the same table as the juniors. I was even spared the duty of serving her tea. She loved trendy things, always chasing the latest fashions. Whatever new silks or jewels appeared in the city, she would be the first to get them, but she would get bored of them quickly, ordering the maids to carry baskets of them to my room. I accepted them all. I was poor back then. I cherished them, I took them, while she teased me for being from the countryside and never seeing fine gold and silverware. She would also pull out her keys to her treasury and let me pick whatever I wanted. Every time, I would kowtow to her and cry tears of gratitude, thanking her with all my heart. It was sincere. Straight from the bottom of my soul, my dear mother. Good heavens, we actually missed out on each other for so many years. When I was nearing my due date, my sister came to visit, and that's when I discovered the person in Lu Junran's heart wasn't me. The sudden shock made my labor difficult. When the Princess Royal heard of it, she was furious. She had my sister pinned down in the courtyard and ordered the servants to beat her to death. Lu Junran was devastated. For the first time, he showed his face. The Princess Royal held me while my beaten, dying sister was taken away. The Princess Royal treated me with both pity and guilt. So she took over all the household chores after I gave birth. She even brought an opera troupe from Jiangnan into my courtyard to amuse me. Wiping her tears, she constantly cautioned me, fearing I might develop some postpartum resentment. You must be happy during your confinement. You absolutely cannot give up. She was even more afraid that Lu Junran would do something ridiculous to make me suffer. So she simply banished my sister and her husband to the southern border, ordering him to stay there with her for life, never to enter the capital. Lu Junran went to the censors, crying out about the injustice, but she only sneered coldly. I am simply biased toward my own. What can you do about it? When I was rejected back then, I wailed until my throat was dry. I was truly heartbroken. Far more so than when he died. My wailing was heart-wrenching. After the carriage arrived at my house, I helped the Princess Royal down. Unexpectedly, there was another carriage parked outside the gate. Also from the Lu residence. The driver came to kowtow to the Princess Royal. The Princess Royal smiled and squeezed my hand. I didn't expect him to be so impatient. To have already arrived ahead of me. I started to feel a bit uneasy. In my previous life at this point, Lu Junran had definitely not visited my home. I hoped nothing would go wrong. But whatever you worry about, happens. The heavens really couldn't stand me enjoying a peaceful life. Inside the hall, Lu Junran was already deep in conversation with my parents. My sister was standing beside him. The two of them leaning very close together. My sister was acting fragile and delicate, full of charm. Lu Junren's ears were burning red. When the Princess Royal saw this scene, her face instantly darkened. Lu Junren saw us and, leading my sister, came to pay respects to the Princess Royal. He pushed toward my side, directly knocking away my arm that was supporting the Princess Royal. He said to my sister, "Wanyu, come and help my mother into the house." When my sister faced the Princess Royal, her smile and mannerisms became much more restrained. But before she could speak, the Princess Royal said coldly, "Forget it. I can manage on my own. I'm not so old that I can't move." While no one was looking, Lu Junren gave me a fierce, murderous glare. "Xia Yuhua, you are truly shameless for trying to force your way into my family. I don't want you at all. The one I want to marry is your older sister. If you dare to interfere, see how I'll make your life miserable." He threatened me viciously. But when he turned to my sister, he was full of affection again. "Let's go together." Watching them walk side by side, like a perfect couple made in heaven, my heart didn't feel a single bit of sadness. My sadness for Lu Junren was left in my previous life. After he became a month in the records, I lived 60 years of carefree life. I am now someone who has endured nearly 100 years. How could I possibly be sad? So what if I'm shameless? It's not that I'm hoping to marry him. I'm hoping to marry his mother. Besides, my only son was extremely clever. That once-in-a-generation genius never caused me any worry since childhood. Once he reached adulthood, he wasn't just the youngest top scholar in literature. He even snatched the top prize in martial arts. Every time he led the army, he returned victorious. He was nicknamed the undefeated commander. All the guests at the Lu mansion praised his grandfather's style. He firmly took the Lu family's titles and made them hereditary for generations. After finding out about the shameful things his father did, he felt embarrassed for me. He even wanted to find me a new husband, to accompany me through my remaining years. With such a mother-in-law, and such a child, even if I had to hold my nose and accept this fool Lu Junren, I would do it. My sister kowtowed to the Princess Royal in apology. On my way home, I was suddenly harassed by thugs, and accidentally fell into the water. Fortunately, young Master Lu Junren saved me. I secretly rolled my eyes. The Princess Royal sneered coldly. "I already knew about the rescue yesterday. The girl he pulled out was the legitimate daughter of the Xia family. How could it possibly be you?" My sister's face turned pale. Lu Junren looked over in confusion. "Wanyu is the legitimate daughter of the Xia family." My father stepped forward to clear things up. "Wanyu was born to a concubine. She is an illegitimate daughter." Lu Junren was stunned. My sister stammered, unable to speak, her eyes turning red instantly. The Princess Royal, well-versed in inner court battles, saw through my sister's schemes with one look. "Can't say it, can you?" She then turned to look at that stupid boy Junren. "It's a pity that after all this time without feelings, you've taken a fancy to such a stupid and malicious girl." She suddenly gave a cold look. My sister immediately knelt down, crying and begging for mercy. "Why is the princess like this? I only feared my status was too low, and that the young master would despise me." Lu Junren was heartbroken. He grabbed my sister's arm to help her up, then turned his fury toward me. "You must have been listening to the provocations of this girl beside you. Whether Wanyu is a legitimate daughter or illegitimate, I don't care at all. Didn't you also say earlier that a girl's virtue is what matters most? Our family isn't from some backwater town that treats a good girl poorly based on her birth." "That's right. I did say those words. But this girl beside you truly cannot be called a good woman. And no one is treating her poorly. On the contrary, it is she who is harming her younger sister. She was harassed by thugs and fell into the water. You went to pull her out. The two of you must have had physical contact. When you went out yesterday, you were following your superior to investigate a case. You were dressed very simply, in the coarse cloth common among city folk. Seeing you weren't some noble young master, and fearing you were too young, she claimed to be the legitimate daughter of the Xia family, pinning it on her sister's head. She clearly could have made up any name for herself to let this messy business be over and done with. Yet she insisted on pretending to be her sister. How can you say she wasn't harboring ill intentions? The Xia family serves as high-ranking officials, and is a prestigious household. If the one who pulled her out yesterday wasn't you, but truly some poor wretch from the streets, driven by the greedy thought of climbing high, making a scene at the Xia residence, then what other path would her sister Yuhua have? But death? My parents' faces turned pale beside us. Especially my mother. The way she looked at Xia Wanyu, she looked like she wanted to swallow her whole. Xia Wanyu knelt on the ground and kowtowed repeatedly, kowtowing until she was bleeding. I truly had no such intention. "Mother, how could I be so bold? If I truly were so wicked and playful, then even in the inner court, I would be exposed." My mother said through gritted teeth. "A commoner. Would they even dare to enter the inner court to see a young lady? Even if the mistake was cleared up later, a lifetime's reputation would be ruined. Even if that person changed their story, Others would only think the Xia family pressured them to lie. When you came home yesterday, why didn't you mention this mess? If young Master Lu hadn't come to propose today, and you found out his identity as the eldest young master, how were you planning to start this conversation? My mother, disregarding the presence of the elders, grabbed my sister's messy hair and slapped her twice across the face without hesitation. I have only this one biological daughter. And you dared to set her up like this? Though you were born to a concubine. Your food, clothing, and education all these years. Which part was not modeled after a legitimate daughter's upbringing? To arrange your marriage when you came of age. I even discussed with your father about putting you under my name. To give you a formal status. So you would have some dignity. Is this how you repay my kindness? Xia Wanyu cried heart-wrenchingly, sobbing and crying out. Don't be like this. Don't be like this. Lu Junran pushed my mother away with all his might. I hurriedly caught my stumbling mother. The Princess Royal was boiling with rage. Now that you've seen this girl's black heart, do you still want to marry her? Lu Junran was very determined. Yes. I love her. No matter what she becomes. Even if what mother says is the truth. I must marry her. He looked toward me. His eyes twitching unconsciously. Moving stiffly to one side. As for the legitimate daughter of the Xia family. No spark means no spark. No matter how good she is or how high her status. I won't have her. Lu Junran's words were incredibly vicious, trampling me down completely. The Princess Royal looked at my pale face. And my trembling form. And stared at Lu Junran with intense anger. Marrying Xia Wanyu? Simply a pipe dream. A girl with such calculating schemes. Even if she were your concubine. It would insult the reputation of the Duke's mansion. The Princess Royal walked toward me, pulling me close with guilt and heartache. Yu Hua. Don't listen to my son's nonsense. You are a wonderful girl. I truly like you. Don't be upset. Even if our mansion doesn't have the fortune. And you cannot be my daughter-in-law. You can still be my goddaughter. What talk of wealth and glory? Is the position of the crown princess going to disappear? I will surely pick a good match for you. My nephew, the crown prince, has not yet taken a wife. Mother. Lu Junran suddenly shouted to stop her. Are you possessed? How is she qualified to be the mother of the nation? If I say she can. She can. It's truly laughable. Since you want this vixen beside you. Then who Xia Yuhua marries is none of your business. In my view, the one who is possessed is you. Lu Junran's face turned red. He had nothing to say. My eyes suddenly lit up. The grievance the Princess Royal spoke of. I truly felt a little bit. Because I suddenly realized Lu Junran had also lived a life before. I hoped that the carefree days, like my previous life, wouldn't be possible now. Sigh, I'm truly reluctant. My genius son. I wonder if we can meet again in this life. I still wanted to borrow his prestige. Hoping for wealth through my son's success. But changing to become the crown princess is also quite auspicious. I won't be picky, I'll be happy. I was immersed in even higher dreams of a comfortable life. Accidentally letting out a giggle. Lu Junran's face immediately darkened like charcoal. Cursing me without restraint. What are you laughing at? My goodness. You actually dare to dream of the dragon throne? Xia Yuhua, you fickle girl. Humph. Stripped bare, you're not worth much. Yet you dare to have such wild fantasies. Keep your mouth shut. Naturally, someone in the room would deal with him. After the Princess Royal slapped him, she gave him another harsh scolding. She ordered the guards to restrain the furious him. And intended to take back the betrothal gifts they brought. Lu Junran was unwilling to leave. My sister was crying her heart out beside him. An old woman from outside suddenly rushed in. Kowtowing with a straight face and saying she accepted. The neighbors were all gossiping that the second daughter of the Xia family fell into the water. And was pulled out by a commoner. Right now. The commoner is at the door demanding marriage. But our family is acting superior. Is it because the officials don't want their daughter to marry down? And are planning to go back on their word? My sister's eyes rolled back. And she fainted. My parents also slumped into their chairs, scared out of their wits. Only I and Lu Junran exchanged dazed looks. Both of us from each other's eyes. Saw shock. It turned into a path completely opposite to the previous life. In the previous life, the ones being gossiped about were my sister and the scholar He Zhang. Certainly not me and some commoner. The one who pulled my sister out last time wasn't Lu Junran. It was the scholar He Zhang. He Zhang was full of learning. And handsome. With portraits of him being sold to young ladies' chambers. The noble daughters were all eager to pay. My sister also couldn't escape He Zhang's charms. Naturally, everyone loves beauty. I bought one too. After my sister was pulled from the water by He Zhang, she revealed her identity. My humble self is the Xia family's eldest daughter. I only asked the young master to come to the Xia family soon to propose. But He Zhang refused her. The act of saving a life. How could I use it for something so inappropriate? A young lady's purity is precious. I am a man of my word. Let's just act as if it never happened. After my sister returned home in a daze. She actually had the maids go out and spread rumors that she was pulled out by the scholar. Rumors of physical contact between the two began to fly. However, among the neighbors at that time, there were people who recognized their backgrounds and gossiped. To protect my sister's reputation, he was willing to come and settle the engagement. My mother also raised my sister's status to a legitimate one and even arranged a grand dowry for her, letting her marry out in glory. Early in the marriage, my sister and He Zhang had a period of sweet and harmonious days. Unfortunately, later on, after He Zhang saw through the rumors she had fabricated, he became cold toward her. I had no idea when my sister and Lu Junran had met, or when they had fallen in love. Anyway, last time it was Lu Junran who was willing to come and marry me. It just happened to be after my sister and He Zhang were married for 2 years that I was matched with Lu Junran. I was kept in the dark from the beginning, right up until I was pregnant and nearing delivery. My sister came to tell me secretly, and only then did I know Lu Junran wanted me, only in the hope of sharing a close relative's title with her to make it convenient to meet and visit from time to time. This was an incredibly heavy blow to me then. I almost died along with my child. After all, before this, Lu Junran's acting was extremely convincing. Truly, we were married for 3 years and he was very attentive and caring toward me, extremely warm-hearted. He put on the full display of a handsome and devoted husband. I loved him. And I mistakenly thought he loved me too. At that time, I was still too young, unable to withstand the shock, almost straying onto the wrong path. In total despair, I thought about dragging them both to death with me. It was the Princess Royal who woke me up. It was my child who held me back. This action allowed those two illicit lovers to play out their drama of suffering for several years. After going through the gates of hell once more, and Lu Junran's rebirth, he struck first, showing up half a beat before He Zhang. He pulled my sister out. Unfortunately, my sister didn't recognize him at first. Add to that, Lu Junran was a martial artist, looking plain and ordinary, with a rough manner, and his clothes weren't even as good as our mansion's guards. All these things combined, my sister must have been terrified. She was afraid of being stuck with him. So she harbored a little bit of malice again, and used my name to lie. He pinned the scandalous affair at Green Jade on me. But my sister didn't expect that the man who pulled her out was actually the young master of the Duke's mansion. The gossip on the street was also her doing. Today, when she heard that guests had come to the outer hall to propose marriage, she lost her composure. Before she could even figure out Lu Junran's background, she had already sent her maids to spread rumors on the street. I took a breath. This was a stroke of luck. Left with no choice, it all circles back to the current situation. This marriage now rightfully belongs to me. I really didn't do anything. This is just fate. Don't forget, there's no way out now. After the Princess Royal heard the reports of the street gossip, she gave a cold snort and clapped her hands. The nanny pinched the skin on my sister's waist. After my sister woke up from the pain, the Princess Royal circled around her coldly. It's been many years since anyone has amused me this much. It's absolutely brilliant. My sister's teeth chattered, not daring to look up. She was about to go crazy. She was the one who shot herself in the foot. If I were her, I'd have an emotional breakdown too. A life of luxury within reach slipped away. One link after another, due to her own cunning attempts to fan the flames, giving it away for nothing. And she gave it to the sister she had despised, since they were children, born of the same parents. Who wouldn't go mad? The Princess Royal signaled with her eyes. Pick up the betrothal gifts. Guards, prepare to leave. Put them down. She then looked half amused at Lu Junran, who was full of doubt about the world. Now, thanks to the blessing of your beloved, Yuhua has suffered a sudden disaster. This marriage engagement, you must accept it whether you want to or not. You have no choice. Yuhua is innocent, but now her reputation has been ruined by you all. If you are a man, you must shoulder this responsibility. If you want to hate someone, hate your precious Wanyu, who has been a natural matchmaker since she was a child. My sister clutched her chest. Her eyes rolled back, and she collapsed onto the floor tiles again. This time, she truly fainted from anger. Lu Junran didn't say a word. My sister gave me a look of utter despair. Looking as frustrated as if she had swallowed a fly, her lips trembled. Pale-faced and shaking, she walked toward the street, as if the sky had fallen. Her mouth felt bitter. How did it turn out like this? How did it turn out like this? The Princess Royal took the betrothal gift list that Lu Junran had brought early on for my sister's engagement and handed it over. She glanced at it and said to me cheerfully, "Since it's for you, this pile is too shabby. You were frightened today, weren't you? I will triple the betrothal gifts for you. It is our fate to be mother and daughter-in-law. I was happy the first time I saw you. I can't wait to shower you with treasures and money." Fortunately, even though it was a bit of a bumpy road, in the end, we still became a family. After they left, the street rumors, under the Princess Royal's manipulation, instantly transformed. The story became, the Xie family's legitimate daughter was harassed by a villain, thrown into the water, and saved by a young master who descended like a god. The young master concealed his noble background, claiming to be a commoner, fearing he wasn't good enough for the highborn lady. The Xie family's daughter ignored the social threshold with unyielding spirit. She said a hero's origin doesn't matter. Whether a commoner or a noble prince, you are the one I have chosen. With such a heavenly husband. It was the perfect match of a golden boy and a jade girl. The noble lady and the young master were a divine pair. Today, the young master came to propose and revealed his true identity, bringing joy to both households. It was so familiar, simply wonderful. While my mother and I were taking inventory of the Duke's gifts, we listened to the servants reporting the high praise for me on the streets. In the blink of an eye, I became the affectionate and righteous good girl in everyone's mouth. I was dazed, as if I were in a beautiful dream. I clearly hadn't done a single thing. Indeed, the heavens love to play tricks on people. This sudden wealth and status. I deserve it. Even happy events can be exhausting. My eldest sister slowly regained consciousness after hearing the butler's report on the gossip. Her eyes rolled back again, and she was once more driven to despair. My mother gave her a fierce glare and ordered her to be confined to her bedroom. The Princess Royal ordered people to turn the stories of me and Lu Junran into songs, to be performed in the restaurants she owned. She even brought this matter before the emperor. His Majesty was extremely pleased. With a stroke of his brush, he issued an imperial decree officially bestowing marriage upon Lu Junran and me on the spot. Not only that, he also rewarded us with 100 taels of gold and household items. This marriage was finally set in stone. Along with the emperor's decree came the triple betrothal gifts the Princess Royal had promised. Radiant with joy, she said, "Actually, you're young. I shouldn't be telling you this, but I had a beautiful dream yesterday. I dreamt that after you and Junran consummated your marriage, you gave birth to a chubby grandson for me. This chubby grandson of mine is a child prodigy." In the dream, he called me grandma over and over. She squeezed my hand. Her eyes filled with tears as she spoke. "I've checked the auspicious dates for you. Let's have the wedding banquet soon." After seeing off the Princess Royal, my father, with a face full of worry, spoke to my mother and me. "I am the second daughter of the family. Normally, I should wait until my eldest sister is married before I can marry. Father said Wanyu was his flesh and blood after all, and he had to find a good home for her." My mother's face turned cold. Father quickly added that although she did something stupid, she had been punished. By a strange mistake, such a good marriage into the Duke's mansion fell to Yu Hua. Mother sneered coldly. "As you wish. But don't even think about making her a legitimate daughter under my name ever again." Father sighed in pity. From the students who came to the capital for the exams, he chose one for my sister and settled the engagement. Rumor had it his character and talent were both exceptional, but his family background wasn't very wealthy. My sister cried and refused to agree. "His family is so poor. Won't I have to beg for food if I marry him?" Father was furious. This marriage was something he had carefully selected for her. He had her locked up and stubbornly fixed the wedding date. My sister threw a tantrum. After realizing she couldn't win, she played a trick. She snuck out to find Lu Junran and weep. Lu Junran sent her back to the mansion and incidentally wanted to see me. Since he was currently my fiancé, staying at our mansion was considered normal. After he met me, he had his attendant guard the pavilion. He got straight to the point. "Xia Yuhua, you also traveled back, didn't you?" I nodded firmly. He stared at me resentfully. "How could you agree to marry me?" I straightened my back. "It was you who clamored to marry the Xia family's legitimate daughter. It's not like I forced myself on you." His face darkened. He paced back and forth with his hands behind his back. "I planned to taking my sister as a concubine was exactly what I expected." I said indifferently, "Even if our family can't compare to yours, my father is still a third-rank official. The scandal of two sisters marrying the same husband. My father cannot afford that disgrace." Unless Lu Junran eagerly pressed me. "Unless what?" I dug a hole to lure him in. "Unless my eldest sister is willing to fake her death and marry into your house. From then on, her name is erased from the Xie family genealogy, to be your concubine, and she is never allowed to receive guests or step a single foot outside the Duke's mansion." Lu Junran jumped back. "That's so cruel. She's your own sister. What's the difference between that and imprisonment?" I waved my hand. "This is definitely the best way. And the only way. Otherwise, let her marry the scholar my father picked for her. Even if the family isn't wealthy. I've read his essays. He's guaranteed to top the imperial exam. In 3 to 5 years, he will have a meteoric rise. He's considered a good husband." Lu Junran stared at me like he'd seen a ghost. He smiled at me grimly. "In the future, you'll be." I was nervous. It was all within my calculations. In the end, my sister chose to be Lu Junran's concubine. I don't know how Lu Junran convinced my father, but the matter was settled. The Princess Royal was reluctant, but she couldn't win against her own son. She added more to my dowry. To appease me, my mother was the only one truly angry on my behalf. I hugged my mother. Having nowhere to pour out the bitterness in my heart, I couldn't tell her that I found Lu Junran disgusting, and only hoped to enjoy the immense wealth of the Duke's mansion, without any physical contact with him. I had no other way. I no longer loved him, just looking at him made me want to gag. Besides, after my sister gave me those looks twice, how could I just stand by and watch? To truly live a good life, that scholar my father carefully chose will surely take first place tomorrow. When that day comes and my sister becomes a high-ranking official's wife, wouldn't I be suffocated by it? Even though she's now Lu Junan's concubine, with the Princess Royal there, my sister has absolutely no chance of getting pregnant. Even if the Princess Royal doesn't act, I certainly will. The title of the Duke's mansion can only belong to my child. In a flash, it was time. I finished the soup I had prepared earlier, hoping to change everything in one go. The less physical intimacy, the better. I truly felt like vomiting at the sight of Lu Junran. Not even hiding my expression. Same grand display. Same husband. But different thoughts. Lu Junran was also different this time. He hadn't been forced to drink. His eyes were clear yet conflicted as he looked at me. Ayu. You are very beautiful today. He leaned beside me, looking mesmerized. He grabbed my arm, drank the lotus wine, and talked to me endlessly. This was a process that didn't exist in the previous life. Drained by the wine, I was slightly dazed. What was the wedding night like in the previous life? Speaking of which, it was truly miserable. So miserable that afterwards, every time a spark of memory surfaced, I wanted to cut Lu Junran into 1,000 pieces. I mistakenly thought I had forgotten. Who knew I hadn't forgotten at all? It was just too humiliating. So I was unwilling to remember. That day, he was as drunk as a dog. He kicked open the door of the bridal chamber, staggered in front of me, and threw a punch at me. The wedding dress was something I had spent half a year sewing. Every thread, every stitch was filled with my hopes for my future husband. And now, at such a critical moment in my life, it turned into a dark mess. Those hopes were also covered in a layer of ash. Like an evil curse. It foretold that we would never be a harmonious couple. He savagely tore off my red veil, threw it carelessly on the floor, looked up at me with tearful eyes, clutched my hand tightly, and sobbed, muttering in grief through his tears. Ayu. Ayu. I was truly so stupid and pathetic then. Both my name and my sister's contain you. I mistakenly thought he was calling me, so I answered him kiss after kiss. Responding with a young girl's softness and shyness, I'm here. I helped Lu Junran onto the bed. Husband, I'll protect you right here. Ayu. You must protect me forever. With eyes curved in a smile, I helped him change his clothes, helped him clean his body, and responded with a face full of smiles, okay. Ayu will always stay by your side. When I found out the truth later, I was practically driven mad with rage. The love became a grievance, trapping me from all sides. I was tightly covered inside, stifled so much that I couldn't breathe. Too embarrassing, truly too embarrassing. I am a person too. I have dignity. I have joys and sorrows. I was extremely humiliated. I always wanted to ask Lu Junran, what exactly did I do wrong? Why should your secret affair with my sister harm an innocent person like me? Even the emperor allows a criminal to die knowing why. Even if you wanted to involve me, you should have explained it to me. If I had known the whole story, there would have been a way to satisfy both sides. You keep your beloved, and I'll be the young madam of the house. We wouldn't interfere with each other, but he kept his mouth shut. He only said he loved me, vowing to marry me and treat me well for a lifetime. He fooled me like that, until I lost my heart, and carried his child. Like a fool, I mistook him for a husband who loved and pampered me, and mistook my child to be the happiest baby in the world. My son, Lu Yun, was so clever and obedient. Even without his father's company, he didn't cry or fuss, acting instead like a little elder in front of me, saying in a sweet, childish voice, Mother, I'll protect you. I am your support. It's so sad. It's truly so sad. How did it turn out like this? It shouldn't have been like this. My baby. He should have been born in a harmonious family atmosphere. As the sole heir to the Duke's mansion, he should have had love, power, and a lifetime of happiness. He should have grown up according to the hopes I had when I conceived him. Not like he is now. Fortunately, I survived this trial. I will never fall for Lu Junran again, and I will never be heartbroken again. He won't affect my emotions even a little bit. In my heart, there's only hope for a good life. But when he unbuttoned my red dress, while whispering AU in a low voice, my calm composure suddenly flared up into explosive rage. I suddenly pulled a long face, seized the initiative, and choked Lu Junran's throat. I threw him onto the couch and slapped him over and over again. The door was locked tight. The people outside had no idea what was happening, mistaking it for the sounds of consummating the marriage. Lu Junran's face was flushed and he was trembling with pain. His gaze was dazed as he stared at me, his eyelids twitching, Shui. In the lotus wine. What on earth did you add? Another heavy slap landed on his chest. Just an aphrodisiac. Initially, I had planned for my sister to come and make a scene, but who would have thought the whole night was silent? Only the next day did I learn that the Princess Royal had sent people to guard outside my sister's door. The next morning, Lu Junran couldn't even stand steadily. He was bruised and battered, covered in black and blue marks. There wasn't a single patch of healthy skin on his entire body. He complained to me with fear in his eyes. You are too terrifying. Xia Yuhua. You are simply a beast. A beast among beasts. Before he could continue, I ordered people to bundle him up, skin and bedding included, and throw him into my eldest sister's courtyard. The bedboards he had lain on, I had them all thrown away. The Princess Royal and the Duke lived in the princess's mansion. In the Duke's mansion, there was only Lu Junran, my eldest sister, and me. In my sister's courtyard, there were people sent by the Princess Royal to watch her. I was basically the local emperor here. After Lu Junran's injuries healed, like a ghost, he wandered into my courtyard, without making a sound, and without letting the servants announce him, with a pair of gloomy eyes. He stared straight at me. In this past month, you haven't come to see me even once. If I don't come to see you, you'll never come looking for me, will you? Xia Yuhua. Do you even know I'm your husband? You weren't like this in the previous life. In the previous life, you were still showing me care and warmth, sewing clothes for me, and cooking for me. I felt sickened being near him. Since we're both living again, I'm not going to act anymore. You are disgusting. Don't you know that? Don't you love my sister? Then go to her. What are you doing here at my place? He left because of this. Are you jealous? Don't be silly. Wan Yu is only my concubine. You are my legitimate wife. You should be broad-minded. Wife, I can't take it anymore. My palm started itching. I couldn't hold back anymore. I beat him up again. Before Lu Junran left, clutching his face, he flew into a rage and said, Fine, have it your way. I will never step foot in your room again. I'll crawl before I kneel to you. Served him right. Nauseating. I'm about to go crazy. When exactly is he going to die? When exactly will I be able to enjoy the satisfying days of having no husband to control me? I'm about to break down. For 5 consecutive months, Lu Junran never set foot in my courtyard. He was waiting for me to lower my head and beg for mercy. Every day, he'd send someone to ask if I knew I was wrong yet. I only knew that my life was too wonderful. The Duke's mansion was so incredibly wealthy. The Princess Royal was so powerful. The mansion had its own opera troupe, and there were corgis, storytellers, and so on. The house chefs were exclusively from Yangzhou, providing everything one could want. This is what living is about. When Lu Junran finally couldn't hold back his anger and came to see me, he saw that my belly had rounded. He was terrified and shouted, How did you eat yourself into this shape? You stupid donkey. I'm pregnant. He fainted, and when he woke up, his expression was conflicted. What? Yun. In this life, everything is different. You and Wan Yu are both by my side. I will never abandon you and our child again. I will be a good father. Treat Yun as my own. My appetite. What does a father who failed the imperial exams until his death have to make his child proud? Lu Junran's face suddenly became extremely awkward. He stared at me in embarrassment. Xia Yuhua. Do you know why I cherish your sister so much? It's because when your whole family blamed me for failing the exams, only Wan Yu, I dared to say that as a member of a noble family, with a title already mine. I didn't even need to take the exams. Yet I was willing to take them, which shows I am a person with my own pursuits and ambitions. The last time I failed, I was dazed by the riverbank. Wan Yu mistakenly thought I wanted to die. When she tried to grab me, she fell into the lake herself. Time and again, she wrote to me to comfort and encourage me. I saw her as a dear friend, and she considered me her soulmate. I exposed him ruthlessly. A married woman and a married man corresponding like that. Truly a touching pair of adulterers. He stormed off in a rage. You will never know how to respect me. Marrying a wife like you is the worst luck of my life. I had no responsibility to deal with an idiot. After the Princess Royal learned I was pregnant, she happily took me to her mansion to be cared for. Seeing me pregnant, my eldest sister began to panic. She had no idea that I had already swapped the incense in her room. The pregnancy herbal packs she sought were sent by my people. The physician told her, listen carefully. Both the man and woman must drink this together to see miraculous results. She didn't tell Lu Junran the truth, but brewed it and fed it to him, lying that it was a tonic for his vitality. In moderation, this medicine is harmless. But if taken frequently, the liver cannot handle it. All medicine has a degree of toxicity. The body cannot absorb it, and one will slowly waste away and die. By the 3rd year after Ayun was born, my eldest sister was already weak beyond recognition, yet she could never conceive. She became delirious and mercurial. Crucially, the scholar she had rejected became the top-ranked graduate, while she was now Merely a concubine in the Lu family, unable to even keep her own life secure, she began to feel resentment and regret, frequently quarreling and weeping with Lu Junran. Lu Junran couldn't take it anymore, and started coming to see Ayun often. But I didn't welcome him. And the child wasn't close to him either. He often stared off into space, his spirit much worsened. And he had aged significantly. He looked through the annotations in the books I read to Ayun. He no longer mocked me like in our previous life, or deliberately belittled me, saying a mere woman couldn't possibly understand critical analysis or pros and cons, or that my notes were all nonsense. Instead, he said calmly, "Your marginalia are excellently written. That Ayun has such talent is all thanks to you. Your talent far surpasses mine." Such rare human words from him made me glance at him. He was clearly still young, yet his eyes already held the weariness usually seen only in the elderly. Yu Hua. I failed the imperial exam again. The official post my father secured for me. I didn't do well there either. I tried very hard, but the people are still unsatisfied, saying I'm useless. Even my superiors look down on me. His voice grew lower. Why am I so incompetent? I worked myself to the bone. Why is it that I can never succeed? Why could my father and my aunt do it? Why am I the only one who can't? Perhaps I'm simply not suited for office. Seeing him kicked while he was down, my heart felt an immense sense of satisfaction. This is karma. He resigned from his post and stayed home every day with me and the child. My eldest sister threw a fit on the spot. I was also annoyed to the point of a headache. At first, it was fine when he was an official and out all day. I couldn't have been more relaxed and comfortable. Now he clings to me every day, talking nonsense. I really wanted to call the authorities to take him away. My ears and eyes were suffering daily. My sister couldn't leave her courtyard, and Lu Junran hadn't visited her for a long time. I waited patiently. Lu Junran had no idea what a woman driven to madness, who has lost all hope of living, and any will to exist, is capable of. Just like when I once wanted to perish together with them. But luckily, I still had my child and my mother, my freedom, and wealth and honor. But my eldest sister had nothing left. Just in case, I had assigned guards to myself and Ayun to keep an eye on Lu Junran. So, when my sister quietly crawled out of the dog hole and attempted to approach when the child and I weren't looking, hoping to kill us, she couldn't get near us at all. When she went to find Lu Junran instead, their deaths were truly horrific. They perished together. Both died a miserable death. I was completely and utterly relieved. The Princess Royal was heartbroken. But fortunately, Ayun was there to comfort her and she recovered a lot. Lu Junran's servant, Xiao Si, had disappeared to who knows where, only returning on the final day of the mourning period. He handed me an exquisitely made sandalwood box. The young master sent me to find this string of red jade beads. He said Madame's birthday was coming up, and he owed Madame a birthday gift. He insisted I find it. After the guests had dispersed, I held Ayun in the funeral hall, watching the incense. Young Ayun stayed by my side, guarding me. I gave him the string of red jade beads to play with. The toddler's grip was weak, and the beads fell, landing in the basin where paper was being burned. I watched the flickering fire. It was a bit hot, but my heart felt warm. Wonderful. I was genuinely happy. I have another 60 or 70 years of good life ahead of me. My mother asked me with concern if I was sad. I shook my head. How could I be sad? If I were to feel grief out of sympathy because he died, then how could I face my former self, who almost died while heavily pregnant? Back then, I really was on the brink of death. That was true heartbreak. But Lu Junran, as my husband then, didn't feel a shred of sorrow for me. He even hated me, despised me, and blamed me for my sister almost being beaten to death by my mother-in-law. He was so blind that he didn't see me struggling at death's door to give birth. Even when the doctor warned that both mother and child might not survive, he didn't pause for a single second. Instead, he ran off with my sister without even looking back. He heartlessly left a message: if she dies today, that is her fate. It is her bad luck, and nothing to do with me. And certainly nothing to do with Wanyu. My endless tears and blood couldn't mask the pain seeping from my heart. Aren't we supposed to be a couple? Am I your mortal enemy? Later, I accompanied the Princess Royal in her twilight years. I watched as Ayun became the great general guarding the borders, carrying the glory of the Duke's mansion. Through generations, I used the mansion's savings to open clinics and workshops, teaching girls to read and write, and giving commoners a way to make a living. The world says I was born with a lucky fate, but I understand that true fortune is never about being trapped in romance or depending on others. It was because I stayed true to myself and became my own source of support. In the many years that followed, I remained free and happy, making this mortal world warm and bright.